name's Mary. I'm not a sister wife.
I'm not nervous about the questions because I'm confident in who I am. And
You won't believe the tea we're spilling today. From secret breakups to shocking lies. This is Unreal Tea. Hit subscribe before the drama starts. Welcome, everyone. And I know what my responses will be, what my discussions are going to sound like. People are always going to chat, and you just learn to roll with it. It's kind of like what they say about lying. When you lie, you've got to keep in your head everything that you said. But I don't feel that pressure. I don't have to keep a story straight because I'm just being me. Take it or leave it. I'm prepared to pull off the mask. And seriously, I didn't think Kody and Robyn could get any more annoying. But then, surprise, they did. Let me tell you something. Both Kody and Robyn fought with production about cooperating for this. Kody arrived fired up. He was combative, argumentative, and confrontational. He yelled and got all puffed up over simple questions. He insisted repeatedly that the other women must take responsibility. He distorted the past to suit himself. He even confessed that it's easy to mock him, but attributed that to having no filter. Personally, I do not believe that is why people call him out. It is not quite mockery. It's more about calling out his narcissism. But hey, he can believe what he wants. He even stated that he hurls 5 different stories and then chooses one to call the truth. That's his version of rewriting history. What truly impressed me was that, for the very first time in her life, Mary came to the tell-all admitting she was lying and wasn't going to lie. If you don't have a fabricated tale to remember, you don't have to worry about forgetting it. You just tell your truth and be authentic. My mask has come off. Now I'm thinking, how many times have they all been coming to these tell-alls lying through their teeth? Lie after lie after lie. When everybody's been lying for that long, how do you even determine what's real anymore? That's the issue with this show, this family, and the entire polygamous universe they inhabit. So many falsehoods have been revealed only to keep the show running. Even when individuals attempt to tell the truth these days, you can nonetheless sense that the complete truth has not been revealed. Not yet. As I've stated previously, Kody and Robyn simply would not fully participate. So what is it that Robyn wouldn't do? She wouldn't even view the clips. Robyn wouldn't sit with Suki to watch scenes from this season, which would have allowed her the opportunity to respond and comment on what was going on. She wouldn't watch Kody with the other women, or even scenes between her and Kody. That being said, in this first episode's tell-all segment, there weren't actually any significant dialogues between Kody and Robyn that required her reply. The majority of the discussion centered around Kody and Mary breaking up, Kody putting down Christine and shutting her down, and Kody's drama with Janelle. Robyn was primarily speaking up to offer her opinion on what she believed Kody was experiencing from these breakups, which was truly bizarre. Suki also went around greeting all the cast members and asked them to say a movie that most described their life this season. Everyone responded, except Robyn. Kody said Point Break. Mary said Wild. Christine said Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And Janelle said Fried Green Tomatoes. But Robyn? Zip. No response. So, again, Robyn gets to opt out of half the work that everyone else does. Kody had already indicated upon arriving that he was going to protect Robyn from some of the tell-all. And it seems in her case, that is not even watching the clips that she is meant to react to. And it got me to thinking, perhaps Robyn does not even watch the show anymore. Does she just zone out everything someone says? Perhaps overlooking it is her means of remaining cocooned in her little world, not wanting to feel any sense of responsibility. I don't know. But Kody and Robyn? They were completely off the wall this time. It was uncomfortable to watch. They never mentioned Garrison at all, and from what I understand, they won't be mentioning his death at all in the tell-all, and that's their prerogative. Not everything does need to be said. But still, it was telling. Kody, once again, is trying to rewrite the story of why he and Janelle broke up. Now he's saying that he was already done with her, which just doesn't match the reality. It's simply not true. And he made some pretty gross comments that I'll get to. One of them was regarding how he felt such a close affinity with Robyn, and that he wanted to bring all his other relationships up to the same plane. He asserted that that level was what he was striving for. But let's be real about it. He didn't. You can't simply blame Robyn and say it's because she communicated better, or was more loving, or could negotiate better. That's not how relationships function. That's not how fairness functions. And Kody is aware of that. He just will not admit it. Kody stood there defending himself, as always, attempting to tell how Robyn's capacity for communication and loving him somehow made it all right the way he treated the other wives. He told her that she was a good negotiator, too. Like this is some kind of business contract. It's always the same story with him. Robyn did it correctly, and the others just didn't quite cut it. That's how he does it. But this time, it was even more draining because Kody wasn't merely defending his decisions. He was literally rewriting the emotional fact of what occurred. He made Janelle sound like she was the one who'd checked out, when anybody who's been keeping up with this family knows that's not true. Every sentence dripped with justification, denial, and blame. And Robyn simply sits there, allowing him to do it. She doesn't resist. She doesn't even appear uneasy with the account of what happened that Kody presents, most likely because it puts her in the best light. She remains quiet, and somehow that quietness allows her even more power in the room, where the rest of the women are being called on to account, to think, to relive. Robyn has the option to decline. Again, worst of all is that Suki didn't question her as much as well. Robyn wasn't compelled to respond to the same challenging questions the rest were. She didn't even watch the tape, didn't comment on most of the season, and wasn't asked the symbolic movie question like everyone else. It felt unbalanced the whole time, as if the rules just don't count for her. The further Robyn and Kody pull away, the more obvious it is that they've constructed their own reality, and they're holding fast no matter what. From refusing to watch clips, sidestepping tough conversations, to twisting their stories in interviews, they're covering for one another at all costs. And it's agony to see, clear as day to anyone watching. There's this dynamic now where Kody is the martyr and Robyn is the wronged victim. And perhaps they do, perhaps they don't. Think they believe it. But the harm is real. The emotional impact on the rest of the family is real. The deceptions, out and out or by omission, are piling up, and they're beginning to crack. The frustrating part of this is that there is no responsibility, none whatsoever. Kody behaves as if he's the sole individual who even attempted, like he made this righteous effort to elevate all of his relationships to Robyn's plane. But if you pay attention, it's evident he never even did the work. He didn't attempt with Janelle. He didn't attempt with Christine. He quit, and now he's retroactively labeling that intentional, like he was finished long before things actually fell apart. While he demands that everyone else share the burden, he demands that they do the blaming as well. He demands that the women get blamed for what he deems is a lack of unity. Unity was never the intention. Control was. And when they refused to bow down, he rewrote the narrative to position himself as a victim. This is how Kody works. He rewrites, he redirects, and he spins every failure onto someone else. Robyn plays right into it. Her refusal to view the tape isn't merely her way of skipping uncomfortable conversations. It's a way of acting like it all never happened. She gets to sit there and give general emotional answers without ever having to deal with the truth of her part in all of it. She doesn't have to view herself from outside. She doesn't have to see the moments that made the other wives cry. She gets to exist in a bubble, shielded by Kody and her own selective amnesia. and the program just allows it. There is some injustice in how the statement show was conducted this season. Mary, Christine, and Janelle prepared to tell the truth. They brought emotion, reflection, and clarity, but Kody and Robyn, they had excuses and ducking. And the editors didn't hold them accountable, not by a long shot. They allowed them to duck, to deflect, and to defend their reality. So now we're watching a tell-all, where half the people aren't actually telling anything at all. We're getting half-truths, carefully crafted narratives, and strategic silence. And for those of us who followed this family for years, it's not just disappointing, it's infuriating. Because we know what went down, we saw it, we heard it, and now we're being told to forget that it went down the way we remember it. Kody claims he was finished with Janelle before the breakup, but we all remember him trying to control her, discipline her, guilt-trip her into taking sides. That's not a guy who's done. That's a guy who's attempting to win a power game. Kody's compulsion to be right every time is draining. It's not so much about being heard, it's about being the hero of every iteration of the story that he narrates. Whether it's the relationship with Christine, the blow-up with Janelle, or the emotional distance with Mary, he always presents it as a failure on someone else's part. And when that fails him, he just rewrites history to suit the narrative he's promoting at the moment. He was standing there explaining how he had this deep relationship with Robyn and wanted to bring the others up to that level. That's not how it works. You can't upgrade relationships like software. You can't say you're being fair and giving everything to one and crumbs to the rest. It's obvious now. Kody wasn't building his other marriages. He was allowing them to disintegrate while protecting Robyn from the ruins. And let's be real, Robyn didn't come in to balance things out. She allowed the disparity to intensify. She stood by silently as the emotional chasm grew wider, as the hurt intensified, and as the trust exploded. She let Kody withdraw from the others while she remained at the center of his world. She didn't create every crack, but she sure as heck didn't prevent them either. This tell-all was meant to be a moment of truth, a reckoning, but what it became was a forum for Kody and Robyn to paper over the cracks with wishy-washy platitudes and revisionist history. The other wives spoke raw and unvarnished truth, but Kody and Robyn went cautious, insulated by their own fantasies and the forgivingness of the format. And that's what makes this so hard to watch. Not the sorrow, not the breakdown of the family, but the fact that after all these years, there are still some who won't take responsibility for their role in it. They still use a cloak of intention and misdirection, and they hope we'll just believe it. But we've been watching, we've been listening, and we know better. And respecting herself. Okay, if I spoke Kody and could decipher what he said, I would say that what he was saying is this: that Robyn figured out early on that in order to get her way with Kody and to get what she needed and wanted and get her needs met, she realized that she needed to kiss his butt and worship the ground he walked on and basically tell him how godly he was, amazing he was, and remind him all the time how perfect he was. What he found in Robyn was a woman willing to enable his bad behavior as long as she got what she wanted. She would enable his narcissism. She would enable his jealousy, his anger, she would explain away his bad behavior. She would hide his deceptive behavior. She would do all of these things and then give him all the sex. And then he, for his part, would protect her and make everyone else have to act like her. So basically what he did was he said, well, Robyn came in, and she basically worships the ground I walk on, reminds me all the time how great I am, kisses my ass, and I in turn get things from her, and she negotiates with me, i.e. meaning that she figures out how to get her way, and she communicates with me, i.e. meaning she manipulates me to doing what I want her, what she wants me to do. And because she is fueling my narcissistic supply and reminding me how amazing I am all the time, I just want to be around her because everyone else I'm around reminds me how I'm falling short. I mean, his explanation for why things didn't work with Christine was silly. It was like, well, it's hard for me to be happy when I'm being reminded all the time about how unhappy I am, how unhappy she is. Well, Kody, one would think that if you're unhappy, if your wife is unhappy, you find out why she's unhappy and you try to do something to make her feel like she's being seen and validated. But in Kody's world, it's all about him. So I don't actually think that he has this deep relationship with Robyn. I just think Robyn manipulates him into believing that she loves him and says all the right things to him to get what she wants, so long as it gets her what she wants. She's just better at manipulating than Kody is. And Janelle even mentioned that a lot of the things that happened, she doesn't think Kody was smart enough to be a schemer. And the implication was that Robyn was the one behind the scenes scheming. I had way more respect for Mary than I did for Janelle, and probably way more respect for Janelle and Mary than I did for Christine. On you making you happy, making sure there were things that were special. That's what she says. Oh, wait. That's what she says. Yeah, well, okay. She was great at cooking me a meal. But I don't think she was fixated on my happiness because I was struggling to find happiness because I was always being reminded that she wasn't happy. Here's what bothers me about this entire conversation with Kody about these women. Instead of trying to justify it around polygamy and what polygamy is supposed to be about, why don't they all just admit that polygamy doesn't work? Why don't they all just admit that if Kody doesn't want to make things work with one of the women, he doesn't have to? Because as Kody has said, he loved being worshipped. He said that his entire life when he was married with the 3 women and all of the kids, he was the center of attention and everyone worshiped the ground he walked on and told him how great he was. And because of their dynamic in their culture and in their church, he didn't have to do anything because his job was to be the priesthood authority. And everyone's looking to him like he's God and he speaks for God and he's the leader of their God. He's their prophet, basically, in their family. And so he has and holds a position where he doesn't have to do anything because in his eyes and in his faith, he's perfect. And nobody has to conform to him because why would they? If they complain, he can just go over to Robyn's or go over to someone else's house who won't complain. And why don't we just stop even trying to say that the relationships are based on the merit and base and just say, when you're leaving your family for another woman, because that's what he did. He was never in polygamy after he met Robyn ever. And once he left with Robyn, why doesn't he just say, I left with Robyn and that's where things were? How hard would it be for him just to say, yes, I left? I left with Robyn and stop gaslighting all of us and stop making the women try to justify what he says and stop putting these women through his lies and his deception and his abuse to this day. Why don't we start validating these women and stop trying to make Kody ever see that he's wrong? 'Cause he never will. How do you have 6 children with a woman, Christine? How do you have 6 children with her and then say she was good at making me a meal and I had no respect for her? So you're telling me that you were married to a woman and you were never legally married. You had sex with her. You fathered children with her. You came around every time she ovulated. She cooked you a meal. But outside of that, you didn't respect her enough to care about what she wanted or needed or value her as a person. All Christine was an object to you. And I can see why Christine would be embarrassed by that. Because why would anyone settle for someone that views them in such low regard? Come on. And then he wonders why she has no respect. If you're being physically and emotionally and mentally beat down all the time by this guy, how would you have any self-esteem? He is so cruel. All she's good to him. All she was worth to him was a good meal. That's it. How do you say that about someone that you spent all those years with and had children with? He told me that he tried really hard to bring the other relationships up to what he thought, our relationship is and was. And he was he wanted that with all of the relationships, but it was just like, a relationship is based on the two people in that relationship. So wait, the level of Robyn, is that what he's saying? Yeah, level of communication, the level of no. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, that's 100% a lie. So, Kody's new lie and Robyn's new lie, which they both came to this tell-all with. They literally came to this tell-all with a brand new lie. And that was that because Robyn and Kody's relationship was so benevolent and divine, he wanted all the women to be like Robyn and get to the relationship like Robyn. So what he wanted the women to do was be a good communicator, meaning kiss my butt. Tell me how great I am. Tell me how amazing I am. Never push back after you've been with me for 20 years. Have the view of Robyn who doesn't know me and kisses my butt because I'm rich. And please worship the ground I walk on. Enable me. Lie for me? Don't complain. And as long as you do whatever I want, you can negotiate with me through sex and through holding things over my head. And then if you just are more like Robyn, meaning you just keep on kissing my butt and worshiping the ground I walk on, then you can be like me. It bothers me that Robyn says that the relationships are between two people because that's not what polygamy is. And it's contradictory to everything that they've said for years, is that it's not about one man and the relationships. Kody in his big picture was Kody and the family. It was never supposed to be about Kody and Robyn, or Kody and Christine, or Kody and Janelle, or Kody and Mary. It was supposed to be Kody and the wives. And now he's saying he wants everyone to be like Robyn. And Robyn, for whatever reason, is okay with him wanting everyone to be like her. And then when they're not like her, she blames their inability to be like her on them, completely ignoring the fact that she and Kody are the ones scheming this stupid idea and forcing everyone to comply with them, and to act like them, and to be like them. I mean, it's again that whole concept that they believe they are better than everyone else. I told you that my source about Garrison's funeral literally said that Kody and Robyn walked into that funeral like they were better than everyone else. If this tell-all tells you nothing, it should show you that they literally believe they are loved, more by God, are more divine than these people, and these people are just peons to them. Maybe that's revisionist history now, too, is I tried, I wanted to, but they just didn't want to come along. So you never experienced him trying to raise you up? No, he never talked about that with me. I don't think that that's fair for him to even say that. Why? Oh, because we're all supposed to be Robyn. I'm sorry. I am Mary. I'm not gonna be Robyn. I don't want to be Robyn. I'm gonna be my own individual person. I don't want to be her. After everyone disagrees with Kody about how everyone needs to be elevated like Robyn, and each one of the wives denies that this ever occurred. Either he never told them that, or if he did, they said he didn't try, or if he really believed that he didn't show it. And Mary just flat out said, "It's not fair because I'm not Robyn and why should I have to behave like Robyn?" And again, you're asking women that have been around you for 30 years or whatever it was, 16, 17 years at that point, to be puppy dog-eyed in love with you because they have no history with you. You're just forget about all the crap you've pulled for the last 17 years. Real easy to be Robyn when she's never lived in poverty with you, never had to struggle, never had to deal with your job insecurity, never had to deal with your lack of involvement, your philandering. I mean, she didn't have to struggle the way these other women did. But then after that, they go back into the divorce between Kody and Mary. Which, oh man, why are we going back into this? But the divorce, the legal divorce, and Kody is really weird in this section because they are discussing why did the legal divorce happen. Christine believes that Robyn told him that it should happen. She was like planting seeds in his mind. Robyn denied that she planted seeds, and she denied that she ever said these things, even though it's literally on camera with her talking to Kody about how if the kids turn a certain age, they don't have to live with us because they're not adopted. And she kept pushing adoption on him, but we can only do that as long as you get married to me, so we can adopt the kids. But that wasn't really what happened. It was behind the scenes. Robyn was absolutely like, you need to pick me over Mary. I mean, that's what the rumor was, and I believe it. And Mary now believes that the whole concept wasn't the way it was, because once they got divorced, Kody ran off. Kody then, of course, blames that on the catfishing, which we know is after Kody had abandoned her. I mean, Kody had already abandoned her, and then he's like, oh, I really left and got kicked out, and the marriage is over because after I abandoned her, she got catfished. No, Kody. Again, no accountability. But then he says that the reason why Mary thinks this way now, and that she's questioning why they got divorced to begin with, because she thinks that the plan was all along that he was going to divorce her, and just sort of like that would be it. And Christine believes this was the point in time when the family fell apart. Janelle does not believe that Kody could have come up with that on his own. And she believes that somebody else would have been pushing that, right? So Christine and Janelle are saying the same thing, like Robyn forced him to do this, and then they made Mary feel like it was her idea, right? And then Kody is like mad because now Mary has friends and he doesn't like what he sees in her friends, which tells me that during their marriage, Kody was controlling who they could talk to, which I've told you guys all the time. He doesn't let people talk to Robyn. Robyn doesn't get asked certain questions, and men cannot talk to Robyn when they were all together. The wives were controlled by Kody, even down to their friendships, and I'm seeing some things that bother me where she's going from friend to friend to friend. Now that we're broke up, complaining about it, and it's a pattern that was part of our life 25, 30 years ago, where she would go from friend to friend to friend, complaining about me. She told the leaders of my church that she had been abandoned. Fine, I don't care. Even though Robyn was the mastermind behind the whole split between Mary and Kody and getting them legally divorced, I mean, she was the one that wanted this and forced him to do this, and he did it anyway because that's what he wanted. Now they're trying to tell people that she's gaslighting herself. Her friends are telling her things that are not true, which is just Kody's way of saying, your friends are the evil ones. Your friends are the not trustworthy ones. The reason why you think these ways about me is because of your friends. Classic abusive spouse lung language. If Mary can speak to someone and they can see things from a different perspective and they cannot be influenced by Kody and they can see things for what it is, that is not gaslighting herself about what happened. Kody and Robyn refuses to talk about what happened. It's very weird because before it was always like we got divorced for the kids, for the adoption. Kody and Robyn said nothing about that. Nothing. Mary said that it all makes you think about what their plan was. Was there some sort of master plan? Because now, when I look back on it, I have to wonder. Kody refuses to acknowledge it. Blames her friends for planting these ideas in her head, which is false, and doesn't like what he sees and what she's doing. Can't control her anymore, Kody. And Robyn refuses to take a side because they have different points of view on what happened. Robyn also disagrees that Kody abandoned Mary. Literally, after a couple seasons ago, Robyn said she could not blame Mary if she left because Kody doesn't want to be with her. How much more abandoned can you be if a man literally never comes over to your house? That you are declaring that this woman is still your wife, but then on television you're saying, I don't consider myself married to her. Kody uses the excuse of the catfishing as like his way out so that he doesn't have to take responsibility for the fact that he just ran off with Robyn. All these two would have to do is admit they fell in love. They left the family, and they made them all play pretend for years. And then here we are 15 years later spinning circles because they refuse to admit what they've done. And that's what it's like to be around two narcissists. Because he is somebody who's present in a very real way. And I think because of their differing opinions about what happened then, that's why it also bothers him. So, but doesn't the church release one person for abandonment like Mary spiritually? Number, not always. Number explained that it's because she asked for it. It's because of what she said that they gave it to her. Again, that's the whole Robyn was in the middle of that marriage for 15 years, and now she's like, that's on them. It's their fault. They're the ones that are disagreeing. It has nothing to do with me. Even though she inserted herself into that marriage, said that she could be their mediator, said that she could speak Kody, acted like she knew Kody better than everyone else. And now it's like, well, that's just on Mary. And the only reason she got the release is because she ratted on Kody, and they disagree about what happened. Kody said that he was going to stay married to Mary. Kody then, after they got divorced, basically checked out. Mary had already been abandoned by Kody for years at this point. And Robyn act like Mary, having a catfish friend, who, by the way, Robyn was very involved with and knew about, and egged on, and was speaking to during that period. I'm still not convinced that Robyn didn't encourage this catfish to go after Mary. But the whole catfishing scenario egged on and created by Robyn. Just gonna say it, Hap. It was fostered out of her Facebook group. Now it's, oh, that's just between Kody and Mary. And really, they just disagree about what happened. Even though I created all of these issues and she didn't really get abandoned, 'cause Kody is so present. Yeah, it's easy for you to say, Robyn, wait until he abandons your ass. Oh, how does she sleep at night? How does this woman look at this man and go, I want to be with that guy after how he treats people? What kind of woman goes for a guy like this and is okay with this kind of behavior? Because if he did it to them, he'll do it to you. And he's probably doing it to you right now. They were just on another level of delusional, and on another level of just lying. They were caught lying so many times. No one at TLC will let them or hold them accountable for the way that they acted. They will never acknowledge what they've done. And they're just forcing the other women who left to have to rehash what they experienced and endured. And then their abusers are lying and saying it didn't happen. It's horrible. These women need to get off this show. This family's drama is far from over. So smash like if you're our team wives. Subscribe for the next explosive update and drop a comment below. Who do you think will win? Stay shady, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next scandal. Unreal Tea out.